Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate through their spiritual awakening or ascension process. Today I'm going to give you guys 5 tips for interacting with non-awakening people, which can pose to be a challenge on many levels. On one hand, you guys going through your awakening, you probably feel kind of alone and long for that connection and intuitively know that you're just not going to get it around other people, and that can create sort of a awkwardness about you and like how do I act with them? You know, another layer to this is you might want to help them. You'll be able to see very obviously in people you know and love and care about, and even people you don't care about, it becomes so clear to you what they could be doing, little adjustments they could easily make in their lives to drastically improve themselves and their lives. And you want to help them. You want to point those things out because you believe it'll help. You want to help them, you know. But you'll also at the same time you'll have a strong knowing that it's likely just to go right over their head. Probably not going to get it. And it's like, well, didn't you feel about this obligation? Do I say something even though I don't think it's going to do any damn good, and it even might piss them off? And again, there's always like interesting little predicaments that we find ourselves in. There's one other little funny situation I forgot to say that I know you guys find yourself in. You might find that you have such a psychic awareness of how people are, and you do your absolute best. You walk on eggshells to not rock them too much. And even still, even with you being super conscious about it and overly careful, you still tend to trigger people anyway. And then they lash out at you and like, oh God. And it's like, geez, how the hell am I supposed to freaking act with these people? Well, that's what this video is about, guys. I'm gonna give you guys 5 tips. Number 1 is alleviate the burden that you place on yourself of trying to change them. And back to the very first thing I said, you might see things that people could do that you know would help them, but that doesn't go over well. Just like it doesn't go over well when someone tries to tell you what to do and little adjustments you need to make, because we all have the right to go through our life, which we all have many things we could all adjust, even you and me, and other people pointing them out just pisses you off. It's going to piss them off. It's not going to have the actual reaction. It's about being honest with the effectiveness of that approach. It's not effective to point out people's issues. It does not provoke them to change. In fact, if anything, it just causes them to go on the defensive, and out of stubbornness and pride, they'll not change, to not give you the satisfaction of being the savior. So get in light of that, let it go. Don't carry around that obligation of saving and helping everybody, because that's not your purpose. It's not what you came here to do, to meddle in everybody's affairs. But that'll kind of allow you to kind of relax and just kind of, go through life more concerned with yourself in a sense. Well, not in a selfish way, but in more of an appropriate way. More of a balanced way. Number 2, don't listen so well. You're so empathic. When someone comes to you and they're talking, you open yourself wide up and you give them everything you are, because that's just seems like the genuine thing to do. And it is. It's a beautiful thing that we all tend to think that way. But if you haven't noticed, it will suck the life out of you. A lot of times, if people will look at you and they'll on some level know that they've never been listened to so genuinely and intently ever in their life, and they won't even be able to keep up with themselves. They'll just start pummeling their life story at you, and you're, okay. It literally sucks the life out of you. And then you're no good to anybody, not even yourself. And you didn't really help them, really. You just allowed their energy vampire side to come up and suck you dry, you know? So don't do that. Don't listen so well. Tone it down a bit, man. You're not being a jerk by conserving your own vitality and energy and not allowing people who don't even recognize the good deed you're doing to suck it out of you. The way to do that is just to not be a good listener, to simply you can pay attention, just like when like driving a car, if you guys drive a car, most of you guys can drive a car, it's easy. You don't have to focus that much. Me, I'm so like Gemini-ish and ADD. I'm always listening to music and fiddling. I used to steer with my knee and eat like salads on the way to work many years ago. I wouldn't do that now, but that's how easy it is. Yet I can still drive a car. I wasn't crashing every other day. You can listen to people without giving them all of your attention and vital spirit energy, which we can tend to do because we're such loving people. But again, that's a disservice to yourself, and it's an unbalanced way to go through life, and you'll just constantly be resentful at people draining your energy, but it's your choice to give them that energy in the first place. Number 3 is to simply accept your role as a wanderer, as a starseed, a light worker, a game changer. Those people are lonely. Those people think way outside the box and have radically different lives than most people, and you're going to tend to trigger people, upset people, not fit in, not have a lot of close people in your life that are just like you. That comes with the territory. That's the benevolent deed you chose to do, and that's the nature of that path you chose to walk. So don't deny it. Don't say that, well, I just wish it was another way. I just wish I had more people in my life. I know, I understand that, because I don't really have any friends. I have like my wife and my kids, and that's good, but a man needs his boys, his friends. And like when I was growing up, I had a whole bunch of friends. And in that state of consciousness, I was able to really appreciate the camaraderie and the community feel, and just having a million crazy buddies to go hang out with every single day of my life. It was really nice, man, and I don't have that anymore. And I long for it. I don't care for it, but I understand the situation as it is. I don't fight it. I accept it. And a little side note, as time goes on, we're going to start finding each other. There's millions of people like you out there, and you're going to find people that you mesh with anyway. But anyway, just accepting the nature of the role you chose to walk tends to be this way. You're going to tend to stand out and think differently. And it might be a bit of a unique challenge interacting with people who are not on your level. Number 4 is to break out of toxic relationships. On one hand, you can't hide from the world, you can't hide from non-awakened people, but you do have a choice whether you remain intact in a one-sided relationship where it's all about the other person. And there's no real genuine, there's no reciprocation for your generosity and love, and they just don't reflect it back to you. Get out. I'm not saying you should like take my advice literally and do this so super abruptly, but during your awakening, you'll be given signs, situations that reveal to you the true nature of people in your life. And some of them, it's like, wow, this person's a really cool person. I didn't really see how awesome they were. Other people, it's wow, oh geez. That's a bit unsettling, because I thought I really saw this person a different way, but now what I'm seeing is that they don't really care about me. And a lot of times, out of obligation, we will cling to that relationship to our own detriment. And that will cause us to not be balanced and happy. We'll be resentful at this person, even though it's our choice to stay with them, and it'll just likely end more explosive than it needs to, because when you follow the energetics of the situation, you can tend to things kind of happen somewhat effortlessly with less friction, but our minds and guilt can cause us to cling, or sometimes we'll even insist on seeing the potential in people, not how they actually are, and that can cause us to always have this hope that they'll change to match what we want and become who we want them to be. But that shit don't work. You gotta let people walk their path, and if there's an outdated relationship, let it go. Save yourself and them a lot of headache. Number 5 is allow yourself the time to practice. Practice makes perfect. This is a very weird situation. Many of us find ourselves in this. There's no easy one way to do it. The way I've learned to do it is to be very fluid and intuitive and just use my own discernment, because some people, in some situations, I'll feel inspired to speak my truth with all my energy. And other times I realize that doing so is just going to cause a little bit of chaos and not be effective anyway, and I'll just be a little more reserved, a little more quiet. Sometimes I will listen very intensely to people who I believe it'll be beneficial to. And other times I close myself off a little bit because I respect and honor my own energy, my own happiness. I'm not about to just give it away to anybody who's going to suck it out of me. And it's just about getting good at that, knowing when to do what. And the only way to do that is just to practice, to get out there. And give yourself a break. Don't worry about doing this perfectly. I don't do it perfectly. Sometimes I still get like in my head prior to like a family gathering or something, you know, or you know, where I'm going to be around people who I think there might be a bit of a clash in our vibration, which can sometimes result in an uncomfortable situation. But I work on it. I'm honest with my abilities, and I just do my best, and I've improved a lot over the years. I've swung all over the place. I've left them, tried to escape from people altogether. That didn't work. That didn't help anybody, which is what I came to do. And it caused me to be even more introverted and reclusive than ever before. I've also been just a blabber at the mouth, vomiting out of the mouth of the Illuminati and the Dark Cabal and the extraterrestrials are coming and all this kind of stuff. And that didn't really, again, that had no positive effect on anything or anybody. And so through this negative feedback, I've sort of come into a balance. And the balance that I've discovered is that it just depends on the situation. And only with experience will you know how to be with these non-awakened people in that unique, particular, momentary situation. So I hope that helps you guys, because this can be a challenge. And if anything I can say can help you guys, hopefully these 5 tips will give you guys something to think about and help improve your interactions with other people. So that's it, guys. Have a good day. I wish you well. Thank you for the love, the support, the likes, the shares, the comments, the emails, the messages, everything. You guys are seriously awesome. And it's beautiful to hear from you so often. So thank you very much. Peace.